I should really vacuum my carpet. This segment of Readus Relives is a bit impromptu, readers. And I say that because usually there's something happening in the news world regarding geekdom that corresponds with what I have to say. And whereas plenty has definitely happened over the past 24 hours for me to do so, I feel it would be in poor taste. So instead I'm just going to use the segment the way I originally intended. Talking about shit regarding my past experiences. And one of the things that some of you might be interested in hearing about is how I developed my sense of humor. So I guess we should just start from the beginning. Back when I was just a baby Laron. About this high. Maybe higher. That's too generous. Right there. I would have to say that one of the things that generally shaped my sense of humor growing up when I was a kid was Looney Tunes. More ideally, a combination of Looney Tunes and Disney, but Looney Tunes nonetheless. Now, if you've been observant about how I utilize humor in my videos, or if you're one of my friends who know me on a personal level, some of you may already know this. But regarding the great debate, I was, am, and always will be on Team Bugs Bunny. I don't know, it was always something about Bugs that felt perfect to me. Even as he evolved as a character but still kept that trollish vibe of his, it was just perfect. Always one-upping Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd. Back when he and Daffy used to go at it, always being like the calm, collected one who always knew what to do. And that's not to say I didn't enjoy Daffy. I did enjoy Daffy. I just had to be in the right mindset to enjoy Daffy. But as far as things like use of voices, alternating personalities to get a laugh, doing the best to make sure that you're in control of the joke and how it flowed and everything, I always really respected that, especially when I started getting into stand-up comedy. Not me personally, just watching other people. Which, now that I think about it, will probably be the best segue to use for this. Off the top of my head, some of my favorite stand-up comedians are Dane Cook, Craig Ferguson, Mitch Hedberg, may he rest in peace. Just those three that I mentioned have a really nice flow in how they go from joke to narrative to narrative. And I love how they all get into their own material in their own various ways. Other comedians that I find funny are like the ones that don't need really any introduction. Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert. Basically the main two I base this channel around as far as content is concerned. I find Ellen DeGeneres a funny comedian back when she did stand-up. However, at the same time, I'm not ashamed to admit that there are hypocrisies in what I do like and what I don't like in comedy. And I say hypocrisies because some people may look at them as such, whereas others just might look at it as a form of preference. For example, I love Amy Schumer. Seth Rogen can eat a dick. I'm a fan of Michael Cera, but Jonah Hill can suck a chode. I love Freakazoid. I cannot stand Deadpool. And I'm down to 1 subscriber in 3, 2... Now, hearing that, you'd probably think that I don't really care for certain types of humor. You'd probably be like, what? But everybody loves dick jokes. How come you don't like dick jokes? You're basically half gay. First of all, rude. And second of all, I never said I don't like dick jokes. See, I look at it like this. As far as the broad spectrum of comedy is concerned, everybody likes everything, but things that people like come at peaks and valleys. Some stay as peaks, some alternate to valleys, and others fluctuate over periods of time. And everybody's like that. I'm definitely like that. I'm not ashamed to admit that my favorite romantic comedy is As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt. And along with the influences that I grew up with, like Looney Tunes and The Simpsons, I could basically associate my sense of humor with that movie. So does that mean you like Frasier? Are you that boring, Laron? Once again, rude. Yes, but rude. I love smart humor and things more on the classy side, like As Good as It Gets and Frasier. However, I do appreciate other forms of comedy. But like I said before, peaks and valleys, constantly changing. A better example of this If I had to work with Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps every single day, like Danny does, every single day, I would go completely crazy. And that's not to say that Aaron isn't a great guy. I fucking love Aaron. It's just with my current peaks and valleys of comedy, it would either get A, old really fast, or B, just constantly be annoying. However, I could hang out with Danny all fucking year. All of his natural attempts at humor that aren't started by Aaron, and sometimes that are started by Aaron, always tickle my fancy. The way he delivers it, the way he says it, we're just on that same wavelength. Whereas with Aaron's sense of humor, I appreciate it more when I'm just watching Game Grumps as a fan. So yeah, that's a little bit of how I established my sense of humor. I have a great appreciation for one thing, but I appreciate other things as time goes by. And I think everybody feels that way. Some stay stagnant while others rise and fall. But readers, your homework assignment for the day. What would you associate your sense of humor with? Where do you fall in the spectrum? Where are your peaks? Where are your valleys? Write them in the comments section below. But this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.